Welcome to this explainer, the curse of decrepitude and the ultimate sacrifice. Today, we're going to unpack a truly fascinating excerpt from the ancient Indian epic, the Mahabharata. We're looking at this wild story about a desperate king facing the crushing realities of aging and, well, the unbelievable lengths he goes to just to escape it. Okay, let's dive right into this bizarre, profound moral dilemma. Imagine for a second that your parent came up to you, completely terrified of getting old, and asked if they could literally siphon away your youth, just so they could keep partying. It's a scenario that absolutely tests the limits of family loyalty, duty, and human selfishness. And as we'll see, it plays out with devastating consequences. Part 1. The Curse of Decrepitude, a King's Desperate Plea. So, our story begins with King Yayati. Now, he hasn't just naturally grown older over time. He's been struck by a powerful curse from a figure named Kavya, which instantly robbed him of his youth and threw him headfirst into an advanced, crippling old age. Now, the text leans heavily, and I mean really heavily, on this specific concept of decrepitude. It doesn't just casually say he got old. It details a stark, terrifying loss of vitality. We're talking wrinkles all over his body, sudden whiteness of his hair, absolute cheerlessness, and just a total incapacity to work or function. And what's absolutely crucial here is that Yayati refuses to accept this fate. He passionately declares he hasn't been gratified yet with the enjoyment of youth. He essentially feels cheated out of his prime. So what do you do when you're an ancient king desperate for more time? Well, Yayati hatches this absolutely audacious, frankly mind-boggling plan. He decides he wants to borrow the youth of one of his sons. And he doesn't want it for a quick weekend. Actually, scratch that. He wants to swap his decrepitude for their youth for exactly 1,000 years. He promises that once the millennium is up, he'll gladly swap back. But until then, he wants to enjoy the pleasures of life using his kids' vitality. Moving to Section 2. The unwilling heirs, the fear of missing out. Here's where the tension really ratchets up. Yayati doesn't just have one son, he has 5, and he confidently approaches his 4 older sons first, totally expecting them to step up and take on his cursed, wrinkled body. This part brilliantly illustrates the repetitive, mounting dread of the narrative. Just watch how these curses escalate. First up, he asks his eldest, Yadu, who says no because old age makes eating and drinking too inconvenient. Boom, Yadu is cursed so his children will never be kings. Next is Turvasu, who refuses to lose his beauty and gets cursed to rule over impure people. Drahyu rejects the offer because an old man can't enjoy chariots and women, so he gets banished to a roadless land. Finally, Anu refuses because he doesn't want to eat like a child, and Yayati curses him with premature aging. The real takeaway you should get from this is that the sons' refusals act as a perfect mirror to our own very human, very modern fears of aging. They aren't just saying no to be defiant, they're terrified of what decrepitude actually means. They fear the loss of social standing, defeat at the hands of friends, fading physical attractiveness, their voices getting hoarse, and the total inability to participate in vital society functions, like pouring libations upon the fire at the proper times. With every single rejection, Yayati repeats this heartbroken yet furious realization. Thou art sprung from my heart, O son, but thou givest me not thy youth. It is such a chilling refrain. We're literally watching in real time as his fatherly love gets completely eclipsed by his own physical appetite. It twists his affection into this fierce, vindictive rage against his own flesh and blood. Part 3. The Price of Refusal. Escalating Curses. Yayati's reaction to his sons is just intensely extreme. He doesn't just ground them or disinherit these 4 older sons, he utterly destroys their futures. He banishes them to live like birds and beasts, sentencing his own bloodlines to total irrelevance. So, after 4 brutal rejections and 4 shattered royal lineages, the narrative leaves us completely breathless. King Yayati is out of options. The tension is at its absolute peak, and we're left wondering, what is the final youngest son gonna do? Will he stand up to his tyrant father, or will he actually succumb? Section 4. Puru's Ultimate Sacrifice. The youngest son. Yayati finally turns to his youngest child, Puru. He repeats his desperate, pathetic plea, just begging to be saved from his wrinkles so he can finally be satiated with youth. And Puru's response? It's breathtaking. The text notes that Puru answers with deep humility. He just immediately agrees. I shall take, O king, thy weakness and decrepitude. He willingly surrenders his own youth, agreeing to be covered in his father's old age, so Yayati can go off and enjoy the pleasures of life however he wants. No way, right? So the crucial point this story makes is highlighting the stark contrast between these two paths. Think about the selfish older brothers. By trying to protect their own youth, they lose the whole shebang, their legacy, their homes, their futures. But then look at the selfless Puru. By willingly sacrificing his most precious asset for his father, he not only gratifies the king, but secures a supreme magical blessing. Yayati promises that the people in Puru's kingdom shall have all their desires fulfilled.
Part 5. The meaning of the myth, a cosmic body swap. And so the deal is struck. True to his word, Yayati magically transfers his decrepitude into the body of the high-souled Puru. The father becomes young again, and the son becomes an old man.
To put this into perspective, just look at the cosmic mythological scale of this agreement. This isn't a quick favor. At year 0, Puru takes on the rotting shell of old age, and by year 500, Yayati is still out there vigorously enjoying the world. It's a 1,000-year pause on a young man's life, all just to satisfy a father's insatiable appetite for the physical world. Ultimately, what makes this source material so compelling is that it isn't just an ancient fantasy about a magical body swap. It's a timeless explainer on human psychology. It explores the terror of our own mortality, the bottomless pit of human greed, and the extreme, sometimes terrifying limits of familial duty. It shows us how the desire for youth can corrupt and how self-sacrifice is viewed as the ultimate virtue. As we wrap up this explainer, I really want you to ponder this, especially in today's world where we are constantly chasing youth and longevity. Look at King Yayati and his sons and ask yourself, when does the desperate desire to cling to the past become a literal curse on the future? Thanks for joining me on this deep dive, and keep questioning the stories that shape us.